Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Rader's Radar. In today's episode, we're going to be covering a little bit deeper dive into the C3PO bot and the Dsr bot. We'll cover a lot of commands in here and encourage you to go back and listen to the first episode where we covered the mod quality report. A lot of that will be in this episode as well, kind of going over that. And without further ado, let's dive in and take a look. So the first command that we're going to look at is the Dsr bot and how you can use it to compare your GAC opponents. So the command is GA me, and if you've registered for the Dsr bot, you can enter me. If you haven't registered for the Dsr bot yet, it will prompt you to register for it, or you can just punch your ally code directly into that me slot. So we're going to do GA me, and then your opponent's ally code. Now, in this example, this is my current GAC opponent. And when I run this command, it's going to pull up a list of key characters. Once it populates and it takes its time, it's going to pull up a list of key characters that the bot has automatically pulled in and identified as key characters. Now, the one thing about this bot is that it hasn't updated its standard list of characters that you have underneath there. You can create a unique set of characters that you want them to look at. You want the Dsr bot to look at. But note that it does take a little bit of time to set that up and a little bit of familiarity with the bot. So for now, for just the simple testing purposes to show you the command, you see here that when I ran the command, it spits it out and it compares myself and my opponent, the Silent Sith Master. You get a general overview of the GP and what the top 60 characters are, what the character GP is, what the ship GP is, what your squad rank rate may be. So like mine's low right now because I'm not climbing yet on mine, and his may be higher because either he's in a younger shard or he just doesn't fall as much on defense. Whatever it may be, it just pulls the current immediate scores that you have. It gives you an overview of the relics, and then it starts looking at your GA stats about what you have done in this particular GAC current. So, and it also looks at what you've done overall. So like your offensive wins and your underscore wins. That's not just this GAC, and your lifetime banners are obviously not just this GAC. It just gives you a good overview. And then it goes through and it starts looking at how many relics you have, how many Gear 11, Gear 12 characters you have. It takes an evaluation of your mods, but it does not give you a mod quality or a mod score report like we talked about in the last episode. Then it goes through and it summarizes some of the characters that it's comparing here. Now, again, I'm not crazy about this bot because I personally just don't want to take the time to go in and punch in the individual characters that it should compare. There are some other bots in the server that can do that a little bit better, and they update it a lot quicker. We'll get into that in some later episodes. But for now, I just wanted you to see here what they do. Now, if you'll scroll back up to the top, what you'll see here is this is a hyperlink directly to their GAC history. So that's very nice as long as you go and as soon as your GA matchup locks in and you get their ally code, you could run this report immediately and it would take you to their swugga.gg where their Grand Arena history is so that you can look at it directly. So that's very nice. Now the next bot that we're going to look at is the C3PO bot. Now, as I mentioned in the last episode, and I'll mention it again, I love the C3PO bot, just the simplicity that it does. Again, it updates a lot quicker than the Dsr bot, and it just gives you the overview. I use another bot, as I said earlier, I use another bot to compare the characters and what I may or may not be looking for. So for me, the C3PO bot is where I go to. Now here's the command that you use. It's -gc update and then your opponent's ally code that you punch in there. Now, you can, there's only so many characters that it allows you to track and keep up with. You only have so many opponents that you can be matched up with in your GAC. If you only run it once every so often, it may get full and you may have to clear it out. The bot will prompt you when it gets to that time. So if I ran this command here, it should punch out something that would look a little bit different than the Dsr bot. That's been giving trouble lately. Sometimes the server's been having problems with Discord update that it's done. Okay, so I had to go to a different channel because I didn't run it in that channel. But you see here that whenever the bot spits out the report that it does, it gives you a hyperlink just like the Dsr bot, where you can go directly to your opponent's GAC history. It gives you some of the same overall breakdowns as the Dsr bot, comparing your total GP, your character, your ships, your G12s, your G13s, etc. And then what I love about it is that it compares down here, it compares the mod quality score. Now, when you run this bot the first time during a GAC new lock-in, when you update your ally code and you run it with their ally code, it automatically locks it in. So for example, if I locked in with current my mod score of 6.12, but say I found 2 plus 15 mods during the course of the Grand Arena history for the next week and a half while the Grand Arena is live with the same opponents. Well, it would keep me at 6.12 rather than updating me to my then, what would be my current of just making it up, but 6.2 something. It would keep it at the 6.12. So what I like to do during a GAC lock-in is I like to go in and update my ally code with all 7 of my potential opponents. I like doing that because it locks everybody's mod scores in. It doesn't show me the mods that I have against everybody on particular characters, but it locks the mod scores in, so I have a little bit more accurate of a measurement when I'm going to measure it. So those are the kind of the 2 commands that I like to use for the C3PO bot and the DSR bot when it comes to comparing for GACs. Now the next bot that I want to jump into is the DSR bot that you can do for territory wars. Now I would not recommend that you do this as a guild member. As a guild officer, you can do this. Just understand that the DSR bot may take a couple hours to respond, especially if it's during the first part of the territory war. A lot of times myself or another officer will put in this command immediately at territory war lock-in, and it still will not respond for a couple of hours because of that many people using this bot. So it's an option for you. It's something that you can go and look at. The same thing that when you run this command, the same thing is true of the GAC command. The characters that it wants to prioritize and compare are not necessarily the characters that you may think are important or not. So for example, the last time the DSR bot updated may have been during the Revan meta, and it hasn't updated since the Galactic Legends came out. And you may have a difficult time being able to understand how many Galactic Legends your opponent has and what the true matchups really look like. It's something that you kind of have to work through, but it is very key to understand. And you can even see now, while Territory War is going on, yes, and there's not a lot of people that should be running the bot. You can see my place in line is 0 right here. The bot is still taking a long time to respond. Okay, so we're back now. The DSR bot finally responded. As you can see here from when I ran the command at 1:33 p.m. and from 1:38 p.m. when it finally responded, it took 5 minutes and there was nobody in line ahead of me, as you saw. So again, this bot takes a long time to respond. That's why I'm not a huge fan of it. And during territory wars, it just goes on forever while you're waiting on some key information to come out and look at a good compare. So it gives you the general overview of the members, what the GP breakdown is. So this is our current territory war opponent. And you can see we're a little bit outmatched in GP. We're a little bit better on the arena ranks than they are. And the fleet arena ranks are better than they are as well. It gives you a little bit of a breakdown about the Galactic Legends, but not a ton there that should really matter. Gives you a breakdown of the gear and the relics, what the mod numbers are, but not necessarily what the mod quality numbers are. And then it starts going through, and like Treya's the first one. Personally, where our guild is as a 215 million guild, GP guild, I really don't care how many Treyas they have or how many Bastila Shans they have. That's just the old nature of the DSR bot and how late it is on updating certain things. You can, just like in your GA stuff, you can go and compare specific characters and you can manually input those. It's just going to take that much longer on when you're running the command to get through. Just something for you to know and to kind of watch out for. So what I like doing during territory wars to get a quicker update on what our opponents may look like is I use the C3PO bot. And what you're going to do is you're going to type guild. You're going to type their opponent, one opponent ally. It doesn't really matter who it is as long as that opponent is in the guild when you run the bot. You're going to go guild, ally code, and then quality. Now what that's going to do is that's going to spit out what their guild quality is. Now you can do this for your own guild. Now danger in this, okay? Now this is their guild. I don't mind necessarily saying this about them. If you're a guild member, I would highly discourage you from running this on your guild. Here's why. Number one, yes, it does give you the summary, the guild average right here. It gives you the guild average on the mod score and the gear score and the total, and you can use that to compare with your own. However, if you're a guild member, I would not want you running this, because if I were number one right here, as Voglev is, well, that might give me room to brag and to feel good and to flex on the people that are in my guild. However, if you scroll all the way down to here and you're Nefets and you have the lowest mod score in the entire guild, you might feel bad about where you are. Now, sure, should you as a member know where you are? Maybe, but I wouldn't encourage you to run that. Ask your officers for you so that they can kind of shelter some of the people that are around you. Now, if you want to run it and your officers are cool with you running it, cool. By all means, go ahead. It's just that we don't want and encourage our people in Scarif to run it, because we don't want them to necessarily show that and try to flex and try to pick on people who may be on the lower end. When you may not know what's going on, how hard they've worked to get to maybe a .96 here, like Bobby Fett is. You may not know that they worked that hard to get there, and they were a .56 2 months ago. So it's just an idea. It gives you a general overview of what your mod score is, what your gear score is, and how it may or may not compare. So that's for guild officers to use. I encourage you guys to use that a lot. One thing on the C3PO bot that I also really, really love. Now, this is a cool example of how you can pull out data in order to show people what your mods may be for a particular counter. So the C3PO bot, what you can do is you can run a player. Now, the player gives you a overview of your stats. We covered that in the last episode. Now, what you can also do is run player, and then you can put in a character's name after this. So, for example, say I wanted to look at my Darth Vader and see what my mods are on it. I've been working on Vader for about a month now, farming up particular mods for Vader, and it'll spit out what your Darth Vader looks like. Now, if I click on this, you can see it a little bit better. If I open the original, you can zoom in, you can do whatever you wanted to with it. But it shows you the relic level right here. It shows you obviously the level of the character that you have, what Zetas you have. So I only have 2. I don't have the 3rd Zeta equipped on them. And then it also shows a breakdown of the mods, what you have equipped, what sets you're running, what primaries you're running, what secondaries are on there. This is a wonderful bot that does a lot of great things to show you an individual player perspective. Now, again, it may be hard to see on the video, but you'll notice right down here by the Open Original, it's got a date that it updated. So, for example, if I went to go and look at my Darth Vader and I saw my stats here, and say I was trying to shoot for 6,000 physical damage right now on a Relic 3 Darth Vader, well, I've got to move some mods around to hit that score. In order to do that, I could go into my game, of course, and I could update my mods, and then I could run the player report again. And it would automatically update to show where maybe I swapped out a crit damage triangle that had an offense percent on the secondary rather than a protection percent that rolled, or a tenacity percent that rolled, whatever it may be. If you're trying to bump up a particular stat, this is a great thing to use. Now, warning, it may take a bit to update if you change your mods around, which is why it's key to look down here on what time it updated and to know whether or not it's picking it up. You may have to run it a couple of times, but eventually it will pick up and it will update your stats here. Again, it'll update a lot quicker than the Dsr Bot. So if you're impatient about trying to see how your stats are affected or to show somebody a particular stat, just be patient and it'll eventually update. Now, I love this specifically for the Kiadi Mundi mission during Lightside Geo territory battles that's coming up here soon. I get a lot of our players that while we're talking through mods and we want to look at something, I get a lot of them to go and run a report. So for example, if I was going to run a report on my Shock T. So I would run player Shock T, and it would spit out the report of my Shock T. Now I leave, for the most part, I leave my cam mods on my Shock T because there's not a huge need to change. And so for me as an officer, when I go to check a guild member's mods and what they are, I would click on this and I would open it up and I would check the speeds, I would check the health, and I would go and start checking the primaries that are on here and whether they all align with the Kiadi Mundi mission recommendations that the 50 Shards of Cam has put out for the community. So this is a great mod. This is a great bot report that allows you to see what you can do with a particular character and gives you a pretty little picture that you can share with your friends. Another one that you can do with the C3PO bot is, let's go back up here to my Vader. So my Vader is Relic 3. Again, I don't know how great you can see this. I hope you can see it well. My Vader is Relic 3, and I've got a certain amount of physical damage, I've got a certain amount of potency, I've got a certain amount of crit chance that's right here. And in order for me, because I've been working on these mods for about a month now, I'm building up a Galactic Legend Ray counter with my Darth Vader. And I'm trying to shoot for particular stats that I would want to hit in order to make the counter a little bit more efficient. I also have in mind for my Darth Vader a 3v3 counter for Darth Revan, Darth Malak, and Bastila Shan Fallen. And I have to hit certain mod stats in order to make that counter more efficient for high Relic 7 Darth Revan, Darth Malaks, and Bastila Shans in the particular way that they are modded. So, if I'm looking at my current mods that I've been working on for a little while now, and I want to see what happens when I take my Vader to Relic 7, which is what I will do when I get ready for that counter. What happens to that Vader? Well, C3PO Bot answers that for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to run a dash compare the relic level, which is 7, which is what I want to compare my Darth Vader to now, and then the character. So compare relic level character. Now, with this, once I enter it, it will give you the same or similar report. It will open up here, and it will show you the Relic 3 stats current versus what it would be at Relic 7. So for some of you that may be debating whether to take a character to Relic 8 or not, you could punch in compare 8 Vader, and it would also spit that out so that you could see the stat boosts and what your mods would do to it. So for me, if and when I take my Vader to Relic 7 at their current mods now without changing anything, the physical damage is 8,040, which is exactly where I want it. I want it to be somewhere around 8,000 for the counter that I have in mind. The crit chance is 82%, a little high, considering that when Vader is in Merciless Massacre, he gets a 25% stat increase. It could be lower, but I'm not fussing over crit chance. I have the stats that I want to hit. Now, you can see here the health and the protection and things that go up, but this is a great way for me to look and see what the counter is that I'm trying to run and whether my Vader meets that or not. Absolutely love this bot report. One other thing that you could do with the C3PO bot, say you're getting ready for a territory war or a grand arena, and you're trying to check and make sure that you have all your mods are equipped. I don't know, do you have mods equipped on certain people? Did you move them back from your arena climbing? Did you move them back from testing or an event? Maybe you're trying the gas event or the C3PO event, whatever it may be. C3PO Bot has a bot command for that. So you'll do, the bot command is -MC. Now it spits out this report that shows that I have 0 units that don't have mods on them. All my units have mods equipped on them. It shows that all of my units have all mods equipped on them. And it shows that I have one character right now that has an incomplete mod set, so Commander Luke. So I could go into my game and I could wonder, well, why does Commander Luke have a mismatching set on him? And I could go and look and see. This helps me to be able to see before I lock in for Territory War. Now you can leave and come back in for Territory War, but especially for Grand Arena. I check this every time before I lock in for Grand Arena to make sure that I have mods equipped on all my characters. Great bot. Use it in yours. Dsr Bot comes back out for something that's really, really cool that they do. You can run a panic farm calculator to see how close you are to a particular character. So right now, I have a gear hoard saved up for Jedi Knight Luke. Now, the Dsr Bot, I can run this command, panic JKL, and it will tell me, when it finally updates, it will tell me in a small picture format what it looks like. So I've already got Commander Luke at Relic 3, I've already got Chewie at Relic 3, Vader, C3PO needed to be at Relic 3, I had an extra Relic level on him, Hoda is there, and then I have my Wedge ship that's already 7-star. Now, it can't tell you what you have hoarded or what you have saved, of course. I already have the gear for all of these characters, I'm just waiting for the event to drop, and I have Han's Millennium Falcon ready to be at 7-star when the event drops. I'm just not ready yet because I'm trying to keep my GP low to keep my Grand Arena matches a little bit better. So you can see here a picture of what it may look like to do. Now, I'm Not crazy about the DSR bot because it takes longer to update, but also because the picture is so small. C3PO bot allows you to check your current progress as well. So you run a check and then a character's name. So check JKL. And it prints out a much bigger picture as you see here. It shows you your characters that are good and green, and it shows you the ones that are red and need to be worked on. So I hope this episode today really helps you at learning some of the bot commands, becoming more familiar with the bots, and understanding what you can run as a player to improve your game in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord or ping me in a particular channel. I'm always happy to reach out and help you where you are. So without further ado, this is the end of our episode. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a great day.